Hi loves, welcome back to Cupcake Delight. I am Tiffany Williams. How have you guys been? I know all of the Self-Love Sunday peeps have been waiting for a Self-Love Sunday for about 2 months. So I apologize. If you have been following me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, you know what I've been up to and the new things that I have in store, which I'll talk a little bit more about at the end of the video. But for this Self-Love Sunday video, I wanted to chat about forgiveness. Now, I know we would have kind of touched on it a little bit, or the need to talk about forgiveness. And here is the video. So, stay tuned right after the intro. Forgiveness. Now, there are 3 aspects of forgiveness I wanted to touch on in this video. The first is, of course, our need to forgive others. The second is our need to seek forgiveness. And the third is our need to forgive ourselves. So 1, we must forgive others. 2, we must seek forgiveness. And 3, we must forgive ourselves. Right? Sounds really simple, but society just not only society, me, us, you, we have been having problems with forgiveness for quite some time, and it really is a topic that I had to mention because it comes back to how much we really love ourselves and how much we want to ensure that we are okay so that we could give of ourselves so that others could feel that love, right? So first up, forgive others. So yes, we know that we must forgive others. I was talking to my boyfriend and I was like, babe, talk to me. What do you feel about forgiveness? He was like, well, I heard it's good for the soul. I was like, that's kind of a cliche saying that everybody says forgiveness is good for the soul, but what does it actually mean? Why is forgiveness good for the soul? And then I thought about it a little deeper to the fact that, sometimes you say it benefits us more than the other person for us to actually be relieved of whatever issue may have been over us. So we feel like we could head into life with a clearer vision and view and not thinking that there's this grudge or not having this grudge that keeps us back from progress, right? I know a lot of times some people become fixated on whatever issue they were plagued with, whatever forgiveness issue they were plagued with, and it can actually do something to our mental health. Some people actually get depressed from not forgiving, and then that filters on over into their relationships. Yeah, you're depressed so much that you can't function well at work, and it becomes more of a burden than anything else. And then imagine if it's a forgiveness problem where another person is involved, the other person might not even know that you're going through what you're going through. They are not the one to feel where you're at in the world and in your mind, and so it's like a burden you're carrying when you're not forgiving others, right? So you forgive others to help heal yourself. That's one stage in the healing process. It actually, you forgive others as well to help mend relationships, because of course if the person is forgiven, you feel like you might be able to move on in a happier place. Now, of course, there are issues where it's just hard. Some people say, I'd rather just move on. But sometimes when you have it there, you're unable to move on in a healthy manner. Now, I'm not saying for those who were raped that you should have your rapist as your best friend. For those who abused in relationships, that your abuser should be your best friend now. No. Forgiveness is actually going into that mental state where you've come to terms with the issue. Maybe you might even need therapy for it, and so you can move on healthier into a healthier zone, mental zone. So really on an emotional and mental state. Forgiving others helps us to move on in a positive light. It helps us to mend relationships, helps us to be in a better mental health space. And of course, not forgiving others can actually affect our future relationships, right? Because sometimes we might have gone through trauma where we can't get over some of the things that we would have endured in a relationship. So the next person who comes has to endure our feelings of insecurity or even the trauma that we went through, So it's really important to deal with the aspect of forgiveness. It's necessary, right? So forgive others. Secondly, it is important for us to seek forgiveness, right? I would have also asked my boyfriend a question of why it is that people tend not to want to seek forgiveness. And one thing he would have said, and then I added to it, so I have 2 reasons why people hold back from seeking forgiveness. His answer was that maybe they fear being rejected. They fear not being forgiven. Because sometimes it's really hard for you to know that you're in the wrong and to go to someone and ask for forgiveness in the way in which you're supposed to do it, with actually being mindful of your wrong, being compassionate and passionate about the forgiveness part of it. And then the person rejects you. The person is like, nah, don't worry. No, I can't forgive you. Then you really feel bad. So one reason why people tend not to seek forgiveness is because they fear the rejection. And the reason that I thought of why people seek not to why people decide, I'm not going to seek forgiveness, it's because they think that they were actually right. When you think that you weren't wrong in a situation, you might not actually think that you need to forgive, right? So for example, one of the examples that came up was the fact that you could actually have a good relationship, having a conversation with maybe the manager and a supervisor and another person, and then you would have said something that offended your supervisor, right? The other person would nudge you and tell you after that was kind of offensive. When you know that person is your supervisor, that person actually has a say in if you should stay in the company or not. You would go back to that person, even though you thought whatever you said was true. You would still find value in forgiving then, right? So we have to see being able to find value in forgiving seeking forgiveness, I should say, on all levels. It shouldn't just be when we can actually benefit monetarily, physically. That's when we're like, what? I'm sorry. Now I could get a car. Now I could get the money. No. No. So of course, I'm thinking that when you seek forgiveness, again, help to mend the relationship, to move forward with a peace of mind. And of course, you help your reputation. Because if you know you were in the wrong and you get to smoothen it out, now the issue there is almost no longer, if it is that you've really been forgiven, right? So take some time and go out there and not have the mentality of whatever, let things slide. The society now, it seems like they're on a kind of rule where you cut off somebody, you don't need to forgive, you don't need certain people in your life. I think that's a really negative mindset to have, and nothing is wrong with wanting to have positive, healthy relationships, and part of that is getting over the tough situations and actually seeking forgiveness and forgiving others. Finally, forgive yourself. It is important to forgive yourself. So we explored a little bit on forgiving others, seeking forgiveness to be forgiven ourselves, and also now we're going to talk a little bit more about the fact that it is important for us to forgive ourselves. I know growing up, a lot of people would have endured abuse, verbal abuse, things like people letting you feel as though you're ugly, telling you it would never amount to anything, and then you put that onto yourself. I think that's one thing you need to forgive yourself for, believing the negativity from childhood, that you're not beautiful, that you're not worthy, you need to forgive yourself for that mentality. And you know, I would have said hashtag renew my mind. That's like an important hashtag I use in my own daily life, because I realize sometimes the old things that we would have enjoyed, the old practices and beliefs, cause us to not love ourselves in the way in which we should. Right? This is Self-Love Sunday. So we can't go around doing self-care things and not forgiving ourselves for some of the bad decisions as well that we would have made. So you flunk out of school and you're not forgiving yourself, and that non-forgiveness would make you feel like you're stuck in that place where you can move on to maybe a better opportunity or something. You can't forgive yourself for maybe being the wrong one in a past relationship. So in your future relationships, you go about it as, or you can't even forgive yourself because you might think, because you would have enjoyed certain types of relationships, that it is your fault that you are being abused and you are being misused. And you might think, oh, why am I so this and why am I so that? You need to stop the self-blame, self-pity that is caused by thinking that you're not worthy and you're not good enough, right? I think that's where it comes from, and then it's hard for us to forgive ourselves from the things that we have done. Now, of course, if you've committed a crime, it will be even harder too, but it is necessary for you to go through the stages of ensuring that you understand the way it would have affected other people, the effect that it would continue, the effect that we will continue to have to society just by knowing the things that you would have done. But at the end of the day, for your mental health and for you to be able to live a life free of fear, you have to forgive yourself. I hope I started a conversation. I have a few questions that I'd like to ask. One, tell me one of your hardest forgiveness stories. Actually, one question. Tell me in the comment section, or maybe even DM me if you feel like it, one of your hardest forgiveness stories, whether it is having to do with forgiving yourself, forgiving others, or seeking forgiveness. Tell me one of your hardest, toughest forgiveness stories, because I know stories could come from parent, another person, abuse, misuse, relationships all over, work relationships, friendships, that kind of thing. And it's really hard to deal with. It's not easy. I could discuss it, but it's hard to actually, live it out, right? So maybe we could even talk about in the comment section actual practical ways of applying forgiveness. Thank you guys for reaching this far in the video. I promised that I would share a little bit about what I'm going through now, the things that I'm doing now that is keeping me away from making content for Cupcake Delight. But you all know that since like 2012 and before, I have been passionate about content creation. So I decided to take that passion into a space where it's lucrative profit, So I decided to start my own digital marketing / brand identity / social media marketing company by the name of BlastedTech. Yes, I have all the links for you guys everywhere. I've been posting videos to that channel on YouTube, and I've been sharing, and I've also, of course, been seeking contracts, right? Because I think I really am ready. I know I really am ready to create content for other entrepreneurs, small businesses, and creatives like myself. So via BlastedTech, I will be doing photo and video content creation because I'm good at it, and I'll also be managing social medias. I also give consultation on an hourly basis, and my consultation is really good. They could even last up to 2.5 hours discussing marketing concepts to help entrepreneurs both online and offline, right? And as I speak, I'm also pursuing ACCA and studying digital photography and starting to save for more equipment. So guys, yes, I'll be coming at you a little bit more often to let you know what I'm up to and to share more Self-Love Sundays. And I'll also be going live on Sunday nights on Instagram every Sunday night. Haven't chosen the time yet, you guys would know, but I did a poll today, well, from yesterday to today on Instagram, of all those who wants to do like a wellness live, and the most votes I got was for Sunday. So right after I upload Self-Love Sunday videos, I will go live. Well, same day. Right, so thank you guys for watching. Please do subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, both Cupcake Delect and BlastedTech. Thank you guys. Bye bye. So love you so.